You're live! Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm gonna be testing Star Wars Outlaws on the RTX 3050, 3060, 4060 and the GTX 1650. How are you guys doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. First of all, thanks to Ubisoft for providing a code of the game early. The game releases in 4 days. If you purchase the Ultimate Edition, you can play it starting tomorrow. So yeah, I've been playing the game for a few days. I took that time to actually unlock more levels so I can show you more open environments for real life scenarios. So how's it going, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome. So as always, the first thing that we're going to do is check the requirements to see that what we're getting into. So 1660, 6 gigabytes. So this game uses a lot of VRAM. So we are below the minimum requirements at the moment because we're using the 1650. But this is for 1080p 30 low with upscaling set to quality. So it's not even native 1080p. So keep that in mind. Recommended 3060 Ti. So we're close there. We have a 3060. So that will be interesting. This is for 1080p 60 high with upscaler set to quality. For high, we need a 4070. We have a 4060, which is quite a bit behind, but that's okay. 1440p 60 with upscaler set to quality. It bothers me that they put the upscaler in there. Okay, and if you have a 4080, 6 FPS, ultra with upscaler set to quality. So let's get into the game right away. One of the good things about it is it's less than 60 gigabytes, so that's good. So yeah, performance is similar to Final Fantasy. Well, I don't know. I have to test it more. But there's an option that they're not talking about in the requirements. That is the NVIDIA RTX GI thing. That's for global illumination and it's very demanding. It's like a 30 FPS hit. So yeah, it's pretty rough when it comes to performance. But one thing that bothers me is that visually, I mean, while the game looks okay visually, it's a mixed bag, especially when it comes to the characters. The characters, especially the human ones, are a big disappointment, especially when it comes to face expressions and all that. So, options right now on the 1650, I forgot about the GPUs here, sorry. So on the 1650, 1080p, good things first, you have TAA, FSR3, XeSS, and if you have a RTX card, you have DLSS. There's also frame generation and ray reconstruction. In this case, yeah, it does allow me to use it. We're going to check it out. Upscaler mode, no upscaling, fixed, which is what we usually do, and biased. This one, I haven't seen it before. It says it's based on the fixed rendering, but in addition, it biases towards a 4K resolution. So I'm guessing kind of super sampling, maybe. Then on the upscaler, we got ultra quality, which in FSR3 is kind of weird because we never had this, as far as I remember. We're keeping it on quality. Then NVIDIA Reflex, let's put it on on. Boost gave me some issues in the past. And on graphics, you got, well, first of all, disable film grain and chromatic aberration. Motion blur, I like that you can separate it from camera and per object motion blur. I would use only per object. Then you have this RTX direct lighting. So RTX direct lighting is basically says dynamic illumination SDK, which figures out the most important light samples and renders them physically accurate. So yeah. Personally, I don't think this one is needed. It's super demanding, this one. And on advanced, you got basically the same options as on the Avatar game. So it's the same engine as Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, but what you'll notice here is that ray tracing, you cannot actually disable it. It's part of the engine, just like in Avatar. So while you can lower it to the absolute lowest, technically it's still ray tracing with way fewer rays. So it's not like it's turning it off. That's what I'm trying to say. So we have the low preset. Actually, this is the medium preset with lowest RT. Because again, it doesn't seem that we can actually turn it off. So yeah, there's a good amount of options like in Avatar, but this is basically mandatory. I think that's why the game is so needed for hardware. Yeah, this I'm pretty sure this is why the focus on upscalers. So well, with that out of the way, I'm going to start the game from scratch so we can check out a few levels. But I played the game in order to get a good idea on open locations because you have a traversal. And well, what to say? At least with these options on the 1650, we're not on low actually, we're on medium to low. Let's put it on low, the presets. Low, no fog blur. Shadow proxies, keep it on for performance reasons. There we go. This is actually the lowest, my bad. There we go. So yeah, this is the open location. I'm still not even onto the bike. So yeah, the 1650 I would say is basically dead. But not really 100% dead. We're at 1080p after all, but with quality upscaling. But I wouldn't use 1080p on this one. We're also VRAM starved. But as you can see, there is still ray tracing. It looks like cube maps, but it seems to be some ray tracing going on there. What is lowest RT? Oh, ray tracing. Lowest ray tracing. There we go. Because you cannot actually turn it off. It's part of the game itself. So yeah. Again, we're below the minimum requirements, so this is actually better than anticipated, quote unquote. But let's try 900p. So 900p low. Hey Lester, ¿qué tal? 1650 is not capable of ray tracing. How? No, it's not that it's not capable of ray tracing. It doesn't have hardware ray tracing, but many developers already showed that you can actually do ray tracing without the ray tracing hardware, but it's super taxing on the GPU. So this one is one of those moments where you have the new technology, but the GPU is basically with the older technology. So you'll be left behind. Let me disable motion blur as well. So we're on the low preset again, and what I was talking about when it comes to ray tracing is that you cannot turn it off. It's here. But it's on a software level, so here it says it. If your graphics card doesn't support ray tracing, choosing a higher setting may make the game run significantly slower. And that's the reason. So we're now at the lowest, but 900p. So let's apply the settings. I mean, it's nice that it does have all the upscaling options, and the settings actually show you what the difference is. But again, since we have ray tracing basically across the board, no matter what. Okay, 900p. Okay, this is a little bit better, actually. But again, we're below the minimum requirements. Also, there's no texture quality option. The textures seem to streaming like automatically. The thing is, the character's face when we are on a 4GB card, I mean, let me show you because it's very funny. Hold up. There we go. Reset. Nope. I'm screwing up. Sorry, guys. I forgot the buttons. There we go. I mean, the textures on the characters at 4 gigabytes of VRAM, well, you can see for yourself. So that's the main issue, I would say, when you are VRAM starved in this game. The textures, man, look at this. That's hilarious. Where's upscaling, transform here. So yeah, is that a rock flying in the background? No, those are ships, actually. Those are not rocks. Although they're crashing between each other. Let's see what that is.
Let's give those little feet a rest.
Those are rocks or ships? I don't know. It disappeared. I think it was a ship into the distance, but it decided to deload. Or was it that tree? The thing is, we're at the lowest settings, but it was a tree. So definitely with the lowest settings, below the minimum requirements, with 4 gigs of VRAM, it suffers quite a bit. But again, what I was saying is that there is screen space reflections, but at the same time you got that ray tracing. So the geometry is still being ray traced, it seems, but it doesn't have the materials in the reflections at the low setting. So things reflect, but there's very few rays, very few samples at a very low resolution. So you don't actually lose a reflection, which is nice, but ray tracing is still there. That's why the performance hit is so large on this card, I think. So let me start the game from the beginning, so I can show you. But it was a tree. It wasn't really a ship. I'm guessing that's because the draw distance was super low, but that was hilarious. You don't see anything RT-wise. I mean, when you look down, the geometry is being reflected, but without materials, so it's completely white. So yeah, the ray tracing is still there, but at a very, very low setting. So it doesn't look good. That's why 1660 is minimum, just because of VRAM's limitation. So I'm going to skip all this. We're going to see at the beginning how it is, if we can keep it consistent. The thing is, when you get to the open world, that's when it starts to suffer, when you get into the speeder, I mean the gliding bike, and you go very quickly. But at 4 gigabytes of VRAM, the textures don't load properly. That's the main issue on this card, I would say. So again, at least 6 gigs of VRAM. Also, the cutscenes, the real-time cutscenes, are mostly locked to 30 FPS. But again, I'm on low settings, and there's a lot of shadow casting lights, so you can really do see that even at the lowest settings you cannot make the game look super potato PS2 level, except in textures, of course. So I'm guessing you should play this at 720 on this GPU, personally. 900p is a little bit much. Maybe the textures actually load properly at 720. You can see that texture in the background. We'll need a mod to lower it even more. That's one thing that I've been thinking about. There's probably going to happen at some point. So let's go 720, hoping that our textures load properly. I might restart the game even. So FSR3 quality, 720, low settings. Yeah, let us restart the game, just in case. Funny thing is, the game is not playable on Steam Deck on SteamOS. Nope, I agree. Yeah, Christo got a job, a friend of the channel. He says that it doesn't run on Steam Deck. It doesn't. I tried it on the Steam Deck. When you get into gameplay, the game crashes the entire Steam Deck and it reboots. But on SteamOS, but on Windows, I installed Windows on my Steam Deck and it actually did launch and work on Windows. But performance, oh man, the performance on the Steam Deck. I mean, obviously, if it runs like this on this card, so yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens once we try the actual recommended GPUs for this one. The 4060 I think will be interesting because that's the newest thing that has the more mature ray tracing. And at least 8 GB of VRAM, but this is one of those games where I would say VRAM is super important. It turned into 3, yeah. Okay, 720, quality FSR because we don't have much of an option. I think textures do look better now. Let me see the cloth in our character.
Let's see Preben.
Yeah, they actually did low in a higher quality, although we're playing at 720 with upscaling. So this is Steam Deck levels of resolution, say it in some way.
All the merchants are out for the
But again, I'm guessing they didn't put lower settings because they're always using ray tracing. But I mean, look, even this small droid casting a light produces shadows. Yeah, they clearly had that in mind. I mean, there is casting shadows across the board. I mean, look at the amount of shadow casting lights. Also, despite the lowest settings, there are still reflections. Screen space mixed with some basic ray trace reflections. These are horrible. Look at the amount of samples. So I think that's what the main issue is. The game doesn't have a lot of scalability because ray tracing is always there. Even if it's at a lower quality, it is still there. Although textures now look better at 720, actually. And thank you, Christo, got the job for the 4 BGN. I don't know what that currency is, but thank you so much, man. I appreciate it a lot. How's it going? Yeah, he shows me a coffee. I have one. But textures at 4 GB of VRAM, as you can see, are super difficult to load. I mean, they're loading slowly, but the character textures are really broken at 4 GB. So, what's my advice on the 1650? For the 1650, I would say ignore this game. You're below the minimum requirements, but in this case, it really does affect the visuals significantly. There's no texture quality option, which is automatic. But texture streaming at 4 GB, it doesn't have enough to allocate. And also ray tracing is basically mandatory, even at a lower quality. So yeah. This is a Snowdrop engine, same engine as the Avatar game, Frontiers of Pandora. So I'm not really surprised with these results. I was kind of expecting this, believe it or not. So yeah, this is now the GT 1030 basically. Yeah, exactly. This is like the GT 1030 of GPUs. So now we're doing the 3050. So we're already jumping into our ray tracing card now. But if your card has 4 GB of VRAM, ignore it. Ignore the game, basically. The game is not for you there, unfortunately. Yeah, 4 GB of VRAM is basically obsolete. Alright, so time to swap GPUs. But I hope 8 GB of VRAM is the minimum. I mean, if you're buying a GPU, at least 8 GB of VRAM. If you can get 12, awesome. But 4 GB is not enough. We're doing 3050 now. Yeah, 6 gigabytes is going obsolete as well soon. Here we go. The 1650s textures are from the time where Star Wars games were good. That's a good one, man. Yeah, 6 gigabytes. I mean, right now 6 gigs should be enough, but I think you are basically threading the needle. It's a little bit much. Oh man, I wish like the 4060 kept the 12 gigabytes from the 3060. That's why that bothers me, despite being one of the most popular GPUs. I mean, the 4060 should have at least 12 gigs. Not securing the card is triggering, it's secure by the screw at the bottom left corner. Let me show you. So no, we're good. And the sag is basically there, but the card goes up to the cable. After the cable is pure metal, so it's fine. Yeah, that screw saves our lives. Without a doubt. The real MVP. But trust me, the thing about securing cards has been a big thing. Has been a big thing for me. Because I swap cards so often. Alright. Let's see. Latest driver, 3050, let's go. What happens if you swap the GPU while the PC is on? Well, if you remove that GPU while the PC is on, the PC basically goes into full fan mode, it turns off, and if the PC doesn't have a GPU and you plug a GPU in, it basically again goes full fan speed and turns off. Don't tell me how I know. I just know. Let's say I had a few accidents in the past, but it doesn't break anything, luckily. At least it shouldn't. Yeah, I used to swap CPUs actually. I had like 2 CPUs before, only one motherboard. The amount of thermal paste that I spent at that time, man. Yeah, I just know, don't ask. Alright. Let's see 1080 high, obviously first without DLSS. By the way, the game while it's launching seems to be compiling shaders. It doesn't tell you, but the CPU being maxed out in parts of the menu and when the game starts is pretty telling that it's compiling shaders, which is good. That's something that should happen on every game, in my opinion. So yeah. Alright. Also, by the way, I disabled the music because copyright, just in case. But the music is pretty good. 1080p. DLSS native. So we're actually doing DLAA. On the high preset, there's also Ray Reconstruction, which works a little bit inconsistently. I had some graphical issues with Ray Reconstruction. Same happened to me in Cyberpunk. So high preset is basically this. A lot of stuff on high. The ray tracing stuff, as you can see, even on the high preset is on medium. That should tell you something. Volumetric fog, we're going to keep it on medium, but we're basically on the high preset. So yeah, why not off first? Because when you turn it off, the game looks super blurry. DLAA is fine. It's 100% resolution, basically, with DLSS as anti-aliasing. So let's see how the VRAM fares. Already, even in the loading screen.
We're not getting anywhere with a busted data spike.
Okay, so with native res, we're getting 40s at the beginning. There's more shadow casting lights now, actually. That looks pretty good.
Any luck, we'll get us on a shuttle to the
But
other worlds.
how this game scales, I mean, when you increase the graphics, the game does look very, very similar, because what they're doing is higher resolution shadows, higher resolution particles, more depth to the particles, better reflections, resolution, but the game itself looks very similar, because it seems that they only
Leave the junk they just throw away.
add more shadow casting lights, add more draw distance to the lights. That's basically the difference that I notice from the highest to the lowest. Even when particles are close to the screen, actually, it kind of kills the performance. So that's what I'm noticing is different when changing settings. The game actually looks almost the same, but it has better draw distance, better particles, higher resolution shadows. But then the game itself, you cannot make it look super potato. That's the issue. I would say it needs more scalability.
Next shipment's coming in.
But you can see already with the VRAM differences, already having 8 gigabytes, now the ground actually has a nice texture, and the character actually has a face now. Which before it was like a pixelated mess at 4 gigabytes of VRAM. Tiene de nuevo, creo que sí. Do you guys know, this game does have de nuevo. Yeah, I mean, the game looks good. I'm just a bit disappointed with the scalability of it. Again, the big things... Let me show you the options so you know what I'm talking about, because this might sound confusing. So, if you look at the options, here, environment reflection quality, look... Let me hide this. Look at the right of the screen. This would be high, medium, worst quality reflections. Low removes a lot of reflections from the environment. So that's basically the difference there. That's one of the big ones. Micro detail is the amount of stuff, the small objects. So low, medium, high. I mean, from medium to high, I mean, the shading is a little bit different. That's about it. Particle density. So particle quality. High, medium, low, very low. It basically loses the transparent detail from particles. So again, not a big loss. Actually, on high is when it starts having some transparency around the edges. Otherwise, it looks a bit flat when it comes to particles. So again, visually, it's not like they removed them. Scatter density, stuff on the ground. Again, how diverse it is, like on Avatar. But on low, it's not like the game looks potato. So it just adds more stuff. Shadow quality. This one actually disappointed me. The options for shadows. Santiago, ¿qué tal? Cristancho. Shadows, high, medium, low. It's basically the resolution of the shadow. So it's basically non-existent if you're looking at it like this. Shadow proxies, this is like on the Avatar game. Shadow proxies are less detailed geometry replacement for shadow rendering, so this actually will look different, a little bit different. Spotlight shadows, how many spotlight shadows can appear at once? This one does make a difference because there's more lights, but again, it's basically the amount of lights at the same time and the draw distance of each of the lights. Same with the spotlight shadows. It's basically the resolution of the spotlight shadows, but it's not like it removes the shadows from the game. Then deformable terrain, lens and cinematic effects. This is for cutscenes. Extra streaming distance. This is like in Avatar and The Division. This is basically draw distance. Destruction quality. Again, the amount of particles when destruction happens. The resolution of the shadows from the spotlights, which are the small lights that cast shadows. Terrain tessellation. Well, you know tessellation. It's like in Call of Duty, that you have near and close, near and far is the amount of tessellation. But again, on medium, it's already okay. It looks almost the same. There's more subdivision, but on ultra, smaller objects have tessellation, so it's actually noticeable if you look closely. Ray trace contact shadows. This is the ray trace shadows from the sun. I mean, going over medium, I think is a little bit overkill. Diffuse reflections. If you can see there, some objects get actual light reflected from them. So on low, there is too low samples to get this part illuminated. On medium, it's already fine. This is the resolution of these reflections that I showed here. Speculars. I mean, when you start going to low, from medium to low, is when you start noticing a big drop in quality. But it's not like the game looks completely different. Then you have the resolution of these specular reflections. So yeah, you can lower this quite significantly actually. BVH quality. BVH is basically the geometry that is being reflected in the ray tracing. You can lower the complexity of the geometry in the ray tracing world, to say it in some way. And then you got the classic volumetric fog that everybody turns down. And volumetric clouds, the classic, which increases the quality of them. And that's basically the options that we have, which again, I think it's good to have them, but it seems to be lacking scalability, because if you put it on the lowest, it's just less rays and less shadows on screen at the same time. So for example, this spotlight here, if I put it on the low setting, probably I would not be able to see this spotlight until I got to this distance. So the game looks almost the same on the lowest, just more pop in for shadows and less complex reflection. So yeah. So I had to show you the graphical settings because I think it's important to show you that the biggest differences are small details.
I'll have something for you next time.
So let me load the open world, because I've been playing the game to get the open world there. And thank you Spencer Walker 21 for the 6.66 nice USLR donation. He says, can't watch live but take my money, get yourself a coffee. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I can buy 2 coffees with that, so thank you so much. I appreciate it a lot. Appreciate the help. No sé Santiago porque todavía no lo probé, no salió todavía. Can't wait for 50, 60, 8 gigabytes. Alright, so the open world is a different beast. But as you can see, it's way more demanding than the very start of the game. But if you saw the 1650s visuals, there were still shadows everywhere, there was still detailed geometry, there were still reflections on the lowest settings. So again, I think scalability is what this game needs, more scalability. And when you see reflections, of course, is when it suffers the most.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Although the geometry still loses, when I'm looking at this reflection in this geometry, it loses the material. So for some reason the geometry goes white. So the ray tracing is there for the geometry, but not for the material. Not sure if this is a bug, by the way. So yeah, let's enable DLSS, because this is before using DLSS. So for 1080p 30, it works, but I would use DLSS on this one. So let's put it on quality. I mean, yeah, 4 gigabytes used to be like, oh man, no, 4 gigabytes, that's overkill. Why would you do that? Frame Gen for the 1650 because it was barely hitting 30. I mean, come on. Okay. So let's drive.
We're going too slow.
Let's see if that destroys the frame rate. We seem to be good. 4060, yeah, we're there. Oh, my GPU logo, thanks. I forgot to have a health bar at the bottom. Whoops, I'm going to die. Right now I'm using the 3050. You can see it right here. You tried the 1650 already? Yes, and it's clearly not ready for this game. Oh, hold up. I forgot I have another planet that I can go to. Oh, hold on. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. So I was waiting to actually get to this location. That's why I played like 4 hours of the game. Because it's a forest location, should be more demanding. So that's why I played the game early, luckily, because I can look at more levels. Yeah, 8 GB of VRAM is fine for 1080p.
Heading out.
Okay then.
Textures loading quickly, completely fine. The characters also loading completely fine.
Hang on tight.
So yeah, here is more demanding because, well, it's raining at all times. And we got a lot of vegetation. So this is when it suffers the most. When you're speeding through this location. So this is what I wanted to show you. This is why I played 3-4 hours of the game, to get to this level. Because this one runs significantly worse than the rest. But there's a lot of vegetation. This reminds me clearly of the Avatar Frontiers of Pandora game. Same engine and a thick jungle.
You want to follow those Kawakins?
Also, we have the Uncharted 4 rope mechanic.
All right, lead the way, buddy.
So there's a very large draw distance as well. When it comes to when you get onto the speeder, when you're on foot, draw distance isn't amazing.
Take it easy, Nix. Don't want to get hurt.
Alright. And here we don't seem to have a lot of rays for the global illumination, or is the water? Yeah, this looks weird. What the hell? What is this? Yeah, I think we don't have enough samples, so it looks kind of blocky. Yeah, I think it's trying to reflect everything. That's the thing, if you have ray tracing and a low resolution, it starts to do that.
I can't see a thing.
Okay, here we got the murder grass.
All right, I hear you. I'm coming.
Alright, so can we even get 60s in a location like this? That would be my question. Let's see. First of all, let me fast travel back where I was. There we go. We're back here. So let's try and do some tweaks. So my first tweak would be not staying on high. I mean, medium seems to be close enough. So medium here, fog blur, meh. Micro detail, medium looks almost the same, at least in the photos. Particle quality, let's lower this. It's a little bit aggressive, so we put it on low. Scatter density, medium should be fine. Shadow quality, really, I'm not noticing a huge difference in the photo, but I'll keep it on medium. Spotlight shadows, let's put it on moderate. We don't need everything to be casting lights at all times. Spotlight shadow quality, I mean, medium, I think it looks a bit more realistic because it's a bit softer on the edges. Deformable terrain, medium. I haven't seen a lot of deformable terrain. This is for cinematics, so it's okay. Stream and distance, let's put it at 30. Object detail at 100. Destruction quality, medium should be fine. Spotlight projection resolution, this is for the spotlight shadows. 256. Terrain tessellation, medium is okay. Then when it comes to ray tracing, I'd say contact shadows can be on low. These are shadows from the sun. Diffuse reflections, I'll keep this on medium, so we have the extra lighting. Ray trace specular reflections, let's put this on medium as well. The resolution of the speculars, I'll put it on low, and the geometry in the ray trace reflection, let's put it on medium. And the volumetric fog, I'll just put it on low. Usually volumetrics, I put them on low, like that. So this is mid-low with DLSS quality. Are you going to test Concord? Probably not. Yeah, the most abundant settings are the streaming distance. The extra streaming distance, actually, we can put it on 0. And we keep it like this. So basically a mix of medium and low. And let's see what happens. I don't think this will be enough. Maybe we need to use a bit more upscaling. Okay. We increase a few frames. Not huge. Oh wait. They said I had to reload the level if I wanted some settings to apply. Or move 400 meters, I think it was. Let's move 400 meters. Yeah, weirdly enough, some things, in order to apply, you need to move 400 meters away. Nah, it doesn't look like a PS2 game. I'm sorry. I wish I could say that, but it would be untrue. Yeah, no, not even close to 60. We need more aggressive upscaling for that. But my question is does this run at 60 on the consoles? That's what I'm not 100% sure about.
Wonder why.
But again, as you can see, from high to medium visually, it's mostly draw distance that changed. Thanks, London is forever blue. I appreciate that. Object detail to 75, it costs 5 to 6 more. What? But I lowered to the minimum before and it was fine. What the hell? Sure, let's put it at 75. Okay, there we go. Thanks for the heads up. Same happened to me with the Division 2 actually, with that setting. Despite being an older version of the engine. That's way better. But the pop-in is quite noticeable. Yeah, especially with the draw distance lowered so much for the object streaming distance. Seems like this game is sponsored by Nvidia. Yeah, actually it has an Nvidia specific RTX option that basically halves your frame rate. Yeah, the issue with the streaming distance being so much lower is that the pop-in is way more noticeable.
Okay, this is bad news.
And you actually have a Splinter Cell conviction mode that you can mark enemies. Points.
Oh, sorry. What were you saying?
The Empire changes people, Kay. Remember that. Tell me, Kay.
I mean, Assassin's Creed, the new Assassin's Creed probably will run poorly, but not like this, because it's probably not the same engine. I think they're using the Assassin's Creed Valhalla engine. This is the Snowdrop engine, completely different technology.
Sure he likes them more than people.
So Assassin's Creed, my guess is that it will run
There's a
much better
whole
than
village
this.
hidden in the jungle.
I don't think the ray tracing will be mandatory, like on this one.
Security checkpoints. In fact, a very limited presence of technology.
Sounds nice.
So yeah, probably this one runs better on Nvidia because they have more of the RTX stuff baked into the hardware. And if they added an option for ray tracing, they probably had some times to optimize for it, I'm guessing. I keep forgetting that I have a health bar. Well, as you can see, combat can be pretty difficult sometimes, which is good. I'm playing on normal difficulty, actually. What's the engine? The Snowdrop engine. The same engine they use for Division 2, Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora. Although the Division uses an older iteration of the engine. But knowing the Snowdrop engine, usually, again, the settings, when you look at the ray tracing options, those are usually the biggest performance hits, to say it in some way. Then the draw distance in the Division was a big thing, but the object detail, you can increase it. It affects performance, but with this at the lowest, there's so much pop-in. It's kind of crazy. But it does affect performance, unfortunately. So I would say keep that at 100 instead of 75. But that's what I was talking about. I wish the game had more scalability when it came to the settings. But it was clearly made with having ray tracing at all times. So yeah, I would say the draw distance at 100, the object detail, is way less obvious when it comes to pop-in. Also, by the way, I'm in a map where I had bad numbers, so this should be as bad as it gets because of the amount of grass, the amount of vegetation. So I did this on purpose. Whoa. And yeah, these NPCs on the speeders are absolute morons.
People from desert worlds often find the amount of moisture on Akiva unsettling.
Good to know. I don't mind it.
You'll reconsider after it's rained for 3 cycles straight.
I mean, this is basically Starfield characters. So yeah, the NPCs, I'm really disappointed with the NPC quality. He just doesn't care. No, I'm not doing the right side of the road. I'm pretending to be British. I gotta I gotta drive at the left.
There's the base, but I don't see any huts, Nix.
Will there be a special video with 1050 Ti? Maybe at the end, just for the memes. Sí, ya probé la 1650 Tanjim.
Nix, put on a show.
Chase it away. Where did you come from? Hey!
So much for
Yeah, of course, helmets don't matter. My hands are the best. Look at that, I can go through helmets.
raising the alarm. I'll call for reinforcements.
What I do like is that the bases actually have super shiny floors.
They're not letting up.
Oh, okay, I cannot open that. Oh, that guy looks aggressive. But it doesn't matter, I have my super hands. I can punch through helmets. But combat is very aggressive. Yeah, the stealth. Oh my god. My stealth is the best. Alright, so now that I showed you where I drop frames the most, I think it's a good time to show you another planet. Let's try here. I think I've never been here actually. This part. Yeah, I haven't been here yet. Whoops. Yeah, the punching animations lack kinetic power. Definitely. Is it here? Oh. Tatooine orbit. Ah, let's try Tatooine. Let me see if I can land there. Yeah, I haven't been there before. I need to get back to the ship, actually. Oh well. I think this was... There we go. This was where I started. So you're basically going to spend most of your time here, actually. At least at the beginning. Let me see if I can leave the quest. There we go. The 3050 is not that powerful. Yeah. 1070 with ray tracing. Exactly. Yeah, she's punching through plastic. Yeah, I tend to forget that. Also, I think I have a part that is actually before this. Let me see. I need to make sure. Space microplastics. Alright.
We need to pick up the pace.
Oh, I forgot this part. I don't have the speeder upgraded. I won't be able to go super fast. But as you can see here, which is where you're going to spend the beginning of the game, is not as demanding. The part that is demanding is that jungle planet. So I'm unsure on how to tweak the game. Maybe when you get to the jungle planet, lower the DLSS to performance, so you play up 540p.
Here we go.
Whee! Anyway, let me load and go back to the ship. I think that will be better. Uninstall when you get to the jungle, exactly. I mean, you can get to the jungle as the third spot, actually. You don't need to go to the jungle right after this map, but I did it on purpose to be able to see what ran bad and what ran well.
Hey, ND5. Okay, time to go.
Yeah, Nvidia is less interested in gaming, I think. Wow, 100 FPS, oh my god! Welcome to the jungle, we got half frames. Exactly. Well, actually, for the jungle, maybe frame generation, despite me not liking it. At a base of 40-something FPS, you can make a small difference there. But you'll need to use FSR frame gen. Okay, so this is the No Man's Sky section. Which actually, I really did like these shipwrecks. Those look pretty cool. So when you're in space, it's not demanding. But visually, I think these parts in space are pretty interesting looking.
Hyperdrive coming online.
So let's go to Tatooine?
Let's go.
Yeah, she talks to herself, but she also talks to the small creature that is with her, which I think is the best character. The small
Whoa,
creature,
Are those pike ships?
And hunts.
which I forgot the name.
Muscling in on their territory. Looks like tensions are boiling over.
You know, it'd be nice to visit a planet that isn't a war zone once in a while.
I wonder if they plan to make an expansion? Probably. I think they're selling it with the Ultimate Edition. Okay, Nvidia AI will be real. Oof. Cannot wait to see the price of the new cards.
So who are we looking for?
Name's Haas, our heavy.
Okay, let's see how
Took out 2 Imperial
the
squadrons
classic
and
planet from some of the first movies runs.
Cannot confirm the validity of that story.
He's a legend with
If
a
we mod
blaster
Starfield into
in
Star Wars, would it be a
his
better
hand.
game?
Want any
No.
chance of getting out of Spiro's vault alive.
Haas was recently arrested by a small-time sheriff for looting vaporators.
But I'm disappointed with the NPCs, especially, and that the cutscenes are locked at 30.
What,
Some
you
of the
don't trust
real-time
those people?
cutscenes.
I don't trust anyone.
But the human faces, I'm disappointed. I mean, they put the most effort on the main character when it comes to the face, and that's still not good, in my opinion. I don't like the human faces.
Good.
I don't think the human faces look good.
Hold tight.
I've put us down.
Oh man, what a classic.
Arrested.
This
Should be able to find the sheriff.
this planet.
Got a deal.
Great. Is the town supposed to be this empty?
Don't know. But it's too sharp.
Yeah, clearly outside of the jungle, we seem to be good. Let me see where I have to go. Yeah, this. Oh, okay. It's pretty large actually. Talk to the sheriff. Well. You hate sand? Same. I don't know how people can live in the sand. Sand gets everywhere. Although, one thing that I have to praise is that you can actually turn off aids for moving around. If you hate that yellow paint on everything, you can actually turn it off. But Nyx, which is this creature here, is the cutest. I think he's the best character in the whole game. Super cute. And you can actually make him distract cameras and enemies And he'll play dead and do dances. I think that's the best part of the game. Nyx is the best part of the game, without a doubt. You can also tell him to grab guns for you. Like, yeah, give me that blaster over there. So yeah, personally, I think this game, you should pick it up if it's on a deep sale. It's fun, but it has some issues. Especially the performance. I mean, it's very demanding. Because it's full-on ray tracing on this one. And also, you need to find the sheriff. But I like that the game actually gives you that bit of respect. Not telling you every time where everything is. And it has a lot of accessibility options. You can customize the difficulty. So, I think it was this one. But it has a lot of great options when it comes to accessibility. Where was that one that I was looking for? On gameplay. You can put the enemy difficulty here, the player health, the wanted difficulty. Always sprint, fall protection, explorer mode here. This is the option that I like the most when it comes to accessibility. So when it comes to accessibility, the explorer mode will be, see this yellow paint on everything that they put in every new game? You can actually turn it off from the options. This is amazing. I know this sounds like a minor thing, but I think this is way better without it. Screen shake, well, you have an FOV slider. The default FOV is too small. You can increase it quite a bit, which is welcome. I recommend 90 to 95. Then here, there's also a lock-picking rhythm game that you have to match the clicking noises. You can turn it off and it will just open it right away. Same with slicing, the hacking terminals. You can also make them auto-complete themselves. If you don't want those minigames, you can actually skip them. So I really like the accessibility options. Things that you may find annoying, they make them automatic, basically. I'm testing the 3050, sorry guys, I forgot. There we go. Let me hack this. Oh, okay. Was not hacking. The question now is where's the sheriff, but I'm going to find him. Probably. At some point. Yeah, I mean, if you get on a deep sale, when they say they sell the Ultimate Edition at 75% off, there I would say okay, but right now full price, not even close. When it comes to accessibility, I think they did a good job. Okay, the sheriff is not in prison. What does bother me is that there's missions where stealth is mandatory, and the stealth systems are not amazing. They can get you in a nanosecond. Alright. So since the sheriff, I'm not going to look for him, and this map doesn't seem demanding at all. Although this part looks pretty nice, actually. Yeah, let's go that way. $1440p. Oh yeah, sorry guys. Before I do 1440p, what would I say is the best options? Well, if you're playing on 1080, I'd say DLSS Quality, but when you get to the jungle, you probably have to lower this to balance or performance. And then, when it comes to the options, I'll use medium settings. From medium to high, really... I mean, the biggest difference I notice, apart from the amount of lights casting shadows at a distance, and is the draw distance. The draw distance is the biggest difference. There is, with this at less than 100, which is 75, The pop-in is way more obvious. To make it less obvious, I'll put it at 200, but destroys the performance. But then when it comes to ray tracing, I'll keep it something like this. Volumetric fog, I'll put it on low or medium. And that will be what I would use for this card. And there's also RTX direct lighting that I want to show you the performance of this because it's basically broken when it comes to the performance. So here, looking at this part, I'm getting 72 FPS. But if I enable the NVIDIA magical feature, instead of 70 FPS, how much do I get? Let's see. Instead of 70, I get 30s. So yeah, I mean, why would you? I don't know, man. It's more accurate, whatever you say, but I won't take half the performance for that. I can see that indirect lighting was better, but that's about it. What does the magic feature do? Indirect lighting. Here it says dynamic ray trace direct lighting. Figures out the most important light samples in a scene and renders them physically accurate. Physically accurate doesn't always mean better. I don't know. Just for that, I wouldn't really do it. So yeah, in order to make it work properly, I would say 40 to 60, 1080p medium, some stuff on low as I showed you before, to have at least some draw distance, and then quality DLSS or balanced, or the jungle parts. Path tracing, I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it's path tracing. Doesn't seem to be. RTX DI. There we go. But again, I wouldn't really use it just due to the fact that it cuts your frame rate in half. I mean, imagine how the jungle will run with that NVIDIA setting. Yo también hago esta web.
Are you kidding?
And you do have a Splinter Cell-like thing. Points. Is he dead? What? Okay, that was weird. What was that?
Hold tight.
Okay, this is some of the first deformable terrain that I've seen in the game. Goes through wetlands with a jet bike. No, actually it feels more like a mix of Far Cry, Uncharted.
We're on foot next.
It feels more like that, like third-person Far Cry. And yeah, just a bit of Ghost Recon as well. Oh, pop in. Yeah, and characters popped out of nowhere pretty often. Yeah, I mean the pop in with the minimum draw distance, not amazing.
Busy place.
That's one way of putting it. Watch yourself.
Would you relax? I'm from the South Stretch. I know how to handle myself.
Hair!
Whoa, you're huge. And
Can I pet him? Yes, yes I can. Awesome. Okay, game of the year. I have stopped playing modern games a long time ago. Yeah, same. I play them, but not super often. Oh, this is why I say the Nyx is the best character. I mean, look at it, how distracts the guards.
Go put on a show next.
Yeah, he's definitely the best part of the game.
Go away.
Disgusting.
Back to our position.
But I cannot even attack them out of the blue like in Starfield. It's annoying. Oops.
Move along.
Sorry, did you say something?
This is your last chance.
Last thing I need.
Okay, let's see if they can... Oh, okay.
Final warning. Desist now, as you were.
Come on, shoot me. Do it.
Hands behind your head.
See, this annoys me. What the hell? What the hell was that? Yeah, the keyframes from one animation to another. I mean, the animation for combat, especially hand-to-hand combat, is also pretty disappointing. Alright, 1440p. Let's do that now. Arrested for being standing there with malicious intent. You can't just kill randomly. Nope. And that really does bother me. And hang on, the game is not allowing me to do 1440p. Oh, I think that was the problem. Lossless scaling, yeah, I tried it. It's not amazing. I didn't like it much. Okay. Let me try borderless. Okay. And now exclusive full screen. Please work. Oh my god. Why? Okay, I'll keep it on borderless. Oh, I think it's due to my... Okay. I think I get it. It's probably due to my desktop resolution. Yeah, I'll have to restart because I've been changing settings way too much. But hold on. Let me reapply the settings very quickly. This is fine, this is okay. I would say medium is the way to go, personally. The medium preset with object detail cranked up a little higher. But I think medium looks good enough. The funny thing is medium puts a lot of the ray tracing stuff on low, which is pretty interesting. And the motion blur, of course, we disable it. And the film grain. Alt enter, I already tried it. It did the same thing. Okay, 1440p. Yep. Alright. So now I think I'll do 1440. And we'll see what happens. I'm guessing at 1440p I'm not even going to try 60s. But I'm going to try the frame generation. Just for the... unfortunately, frame gen probably only works with FSR because we don't have... This is not a 40 series card. Yeah, restart always fixes everything. That's pretty funny. Although, I think I'm at 4K, actually. No, I'm at 1440. Cool. But let me try full screen. I don't want borderless. Exclusive full screen. Yeah, no. I think it's my capture card, actually, that's doing that. I'll keep it at borderless just because the game is not allowing me right now. So DLSS balanced. This is medium 1440p balanced DLSS. Yeah, the 4060 will be there. Let me do very quickly 1440 and we'll swap GPUs. The 3060 and 4060 are what interests me the most on this one. Yeah, I can tell the resolution for looking at menu pixels. Yeah, I mean, oh man, I've been playing so much of this. Okay, this does make a big difference, although what's up with the textures? Come on, load in. Textures. Come on, textures. Oh god, why? Are you telling me 1440p is too much for 8 GB of VRAM?
All clear. Continuing control.
Let me redo something here. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. What the hell? Is it the tessellation? Because I dropped the tessellation to medium. Is the game punishing me? No, it wasn't the tessellation. Okay.
I like it here.
Alright.
Know what's going to happen.
It was just that part. What the hell?
Watch it.
I mean, the VRAM is fine. Maybe that's because I spawned over there. Also, the shadow quality in this planet is pretty poor. Let me check if it's the upscaling. Doing some weird stuff. Where's the upscaling? No, it's not the upscaling. LMAO. Sure, just for the memes. Let me first go to the to the jungle planet. No, it's not the same engine as Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor would be Unreal Engine 4, a late UE4 game. This is the Snowdrop engine, the same engine as Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. Okay. So actually for 1440p, I think just balanced DLSS should be good enough, but I'm seeing some visual bugs at times that I'm not sure what's going on with that.
Ready, Nick?
I'm sure if it's a VRAM limitation. With 8 GB of VRAM, come on, man. Yeah, some reflections are completely broken. Maybe because the low ray tracing. But still, it shouldn't look like that. What the hell? So yeah, if you're fine with 30 FPS, 1440p should be good enough. 30 FPS in the jungle planet, of course. Yeah, for a 3050, 1440p, it's fine. But it uses a lot of VRAM. So I would say if you have 8 GB, maybe 1080p is a better idea. As crazy as it sounds. Although at least the textures actually load, which was a problem with lower end GPUs. So yeah. 1440p, I'll probably crank it up to high actually. Now instead of that, I'll put the ray tracing stuff on medium, so it doesn't look broken. So it will be 1440p medium plus RT stuff on medium. Because on medium it puts ray tracing stuff on low. Yeah, there we go. There's less pixelation in the reflections of the ground. But I think we're VRAM limited here, actually. What the hell? Yeah, definitely this is how it should look like instead. Whoa! What the hell? Yeah, the texture streaming thing, I mean, the ground changes randomly. I think we're VRAM starved, actually. What the... Come on, man. Load those textures. Yeah, I think at 1440p, it needs more VRAM, actually. To load stuff in properly. Boinks. That's funny. Yeah, I probably need to restart it again, but... let me do 4K first. If you're doing 1440p on this card for some reason, balance DLSS, graphics, basically the medium preset, and medium ray tracing. That's basically it. I'm ambitious, yeah, I know. But I like breaking things. Yeah, Texas are trying their best, man. Yeah, I'll keep it on borderless, actually. And restart the game. And let me change my resolution. Yeah, 1440p, if 8 gigabytes is bad news, that is bad news. Yeah, at 1440p, 8 gigabytes should do the job. But what people with 4 gigabyte 3050 do, they shouldn't have bought that in the first place. Unless they're on a laptop, well, if you had it on a laptop, I can understand. I think a 3050 4 gigabytes is a laptop GPU, but there's a 6 gigabyte 3050. Oh man, that's a completely different GPU. Okay, 4K, DLSS performance, obviously. Graphics on low. The low preset, so there will be a lot of pop-in. There's also laptop 3056 gigs. Okay. No, textures are not adjustable. That bothers me. Because the game actually has to do it by itself. So some stuff doesn't load properly sometimes. But let's see what happens once we feel that VRAM. Oh, now it's nighttime. I don't remember it being inside this bar. What the hell? Oh god. What the hell was that? Okay, so definitely for 4K, 8 gigabytes is not enough, obviously. As you can see, it had issues loading some of the ray tracing. That's why it looked kinda blue. Yeah, like there. Some stuff just doesn't load properly, obviously. Although it looks super sharp now, at least. But that light, man. Yeah, here the VRAM is like... Can you give me a break, please? Screen tearing? Yeah, the screen tearing is because BRR doesn't work properly at 60 Hz on my screen. Apologies about that. Do you have the PC specs for Until Dawn? I don't remember seeing them. Oh, I miss high settings at a decent frame rate. Okay, now I just put it on 1080p at native resolution. So now I'm on high but on native resolution. And now instead of being a square when it comes to that light, it's actually softened the edges. And actually in this level, ray tracing on the reflections works properly excepting for some geometry that still loses the materials in the reflection. So yeah, anyway. But at night, yeah, I agree, at night the game looks even worse. The game on daytime looks much better. I know that doing nighttime stuff on 3D rendering is difficult, but still. For 1080p, you need 9GB of VRAM for Ultra. Well, yeah, but don't play on Ultra. Medium to high, I think is good enough. Ultra is a little bit too much in my opinion. Oh yeah, daytime is so much better. So yeah, let's swap to the 3060. I'm taking a little bit too much time with this one. So I think it's time to swap it. Oh man, 5060 with 8 gigs of VRAM. Ugh, why? Yeah, 30% more performance probably now. Which is good. But on 1080p is using a lot of resources. But again, I think it's because ray tracing is there, no matter what. Like in the Avatar game. But the 12 GB of VRAM has me excited. .3060, and after that the 4060. .4060 was already a slap in the face. Yeah, I mean the 4060 has no business having 8 GB of VRAM. It should have 12. No, I'm not getting AMD cards because most of them, most of the ones that actually make sense are actually discontinued. Yeah, the 3060 has 12 and the 3060 Ti has 8. That's just ridiculous. Always has been. Memory is so cheap. Well, not always. Every penny they can avoid spending, they're going to do it. Welcome back. I had AMD cards in the past, yeah. But most people don't seem to care. I mean, if you look at the Steam hardware survey, an AMD card that is not from the Steam Deck or integrated, most people do not have it. It's everything, either NVIDIA cards or integrated AMD cards. So yeah, I wish it would make sense, but unfortunately for my channel, it doesn't make sense to have one. Yeah, I remember the 5850 HD, man. I wanted that GPU so bad. Good times. Yeah, there we go. 570 to 6700 XT. Makes complete sense. It's a great upgrade. Okay, now it's compiling shaders. Give it a moment. Yeah, I mean, considering it's so funny that this is sponsored by the Intel 14th Gen series CPUs, but the Intel 14th series have a lot of issues now. 35% are using 8 GB of VRAM and the same. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, NVIDIA has always been a pain in the ass when it comes to VRAM amounts. Alright, we're going to start with the high preset at 1080p. And as you can see, the high preset gives you some stuff on medium. Let me double check just in case. So the high preset is something like this. So again, many of the ray tracing options in high setting, they put it on medium actually, which is pretty interesting. And we're at native DLSS, so 1080p native. Let's see how much VRAM this uses at 1080. And as you can see, the CPU is maxed out. It seems to be compiling shaders.
I'm off.
Good.
Ready next?
Whoa. Okay. Definitely way faster than the 3050 on this one. I'm already using almost 9 gigabytes of VRAM. And then people say that 8 gigabytes is overkill. See NVIDIA even at 1080p on high settings. This is not the highest setting, this is high. We're already using 9 gigabytes of VRAM. Yeah, I'm doing 1440p as well, don't worry. What the hell was that? I swear, man, those speeder NPCs. Get him! Also, the animation for melee is also too floaty.
Can always count on you, Nix. Should be useful.
Oh, nice grenade launcher. First time I seen it. Oh. Another issue I have is these heavy weapons. To say it in some way, all these weapons that are not the pistol blaster thing. You actually drop them even grabbing to a ledge or getting into your speeder.
Hang on tight.
She just drops them. For whatever reason. I need to shimmy around a wall or something, she drops it. I got into a ledge, she drops it.
Nice.
That bothers me. Oh, that's a friendly, I cannot kill him. Okay. So the small things.
Come on. Hold on, Nix.
Oh yeah. Whee! And he doesn't care. So yeah, if you go native on high, you get something like that. But the VRAM usage is absolutely ridiculous. Is Avatar better looking than this game? Actually, Avatar, what I like about Avatar over this one when it comes to graphics is that it's more colorful. And you're playing on first person in a more thick environment. This, as a Star Wars visual thing, actually looks like Star Wars. And I think that's what kills the graphics for me. I think Avatar has a better looking artistic style than this. It's the same engine, but when it comes to art, this tries to look like Star Wars, and I think that's what, at least for me, I don't like how it looks visually. You can notice that when you go into the jungle, actually. When you go to the jungle area, you can actually notice the differences with the Avatar game. The Avatar game is beautiful, but it seems to be more dense when it comes to the environments and all that. Is it a hot take to say Red Dead 2 from 2018 looks better than one of these modern intensive games? I mean, that game it's a Rockstar game. I think those do not count. But it kind of makes sense because in that game you're not in a ship, you're not moving super fast considering... I mean, it makes sense that it can look better artistically speaking. Again, art carries everything. At least in my opinion. You can have the best technology in the world, but if artistically it doesn't make sense... Here, this is what looks the most similar... Well... this is what looks the most similar to the Avatar game. This jungle location. But since on this one you go faster than in Avatar you're more running into the jungle, Avatar can put more nice detail into it, but it's not as... how to say? It's not as colorful. But I'm thinking they are trying to do the visuals differently. Clearly a different team. But if they made it look like Avatar, it wouldn't look like Star Wars, to say it in some way. I don't know how to explain it. So personally, yeah, I think Avatar does look better. But it's clearly a different type of game. And we're almost at 10 gigabytes. So let's try upscaling. So quality, DLSS. And on graphics, maybe let's lower... What are we lowering now? Volumetric fog, definitely. Okay, we jump into 48. Then, oh, the draw distance, obviously. The extra streaming distance, let's keep it at 10. Formal terrain, there's not a lot of instances of that. This can be on moderate. Shadows on medium should be okay. And the micro detail. Yeah, it's basically medium settings, I would say. Oh, terrain tessellation. Yeah, I'd say something like medium. Believe it or not. You play FIFA? No, I don't like football. Alright, there we go. So at least in the jungle, when, at least in my opinion, suffers the most in levels like this, with thick vegetation. I mean, let's be honest, from high to medium, the biggest difference is the shadow rendering. That is less resolution of the shadows, and the ray tracing takes a hit. The amount of rays you're casting. And we're already, again, almost at 10 gigabytes.
Tired of walking next?
Now let's do the absolute worst thing that you can do to the game, which is going through a part that suffers with a fast bike. Whoops. What happened there? I think I fell someplace I shouldn't have gone to. Really? Ah. I think I need an upgrade to the speeder to be able to go over water, as far as I remember. I think I'm missing that. I saw it in all the trailers and I forgot I needed an upgrade. ¿No tengo un downgrade? No, se ve como los trailers, definitivamente. Okay. So the worst it got, at least for me so far, has been in the thick jungle into the 50s. So with a VRR screen you should be good. Let's try here. The desert. Let's see the other side of the performance. You have a 1660, 9400F. Yeah, it'll work, but target 30 FPS. You have a non-RTX card. This game really, everything is built with ray tracing in mind, clearly. Like in the Avatar game. So if you run the Avatar game, you can probably run this one.
Should be able to find the sheriff. Cut a deal.
Great. Is the town supposed to be the...
Yeah, here it actually
But keep sharp.
runs way better, obviously, because we're not in the jungle.
Hey, I'm looking for a guy named Haas.
You with the huts?
I'm with myself. Oh, nice.
Okay, everybody's dead. Perfect.
Done. Huts are
Let's
like
continue.
You, huh?
But graphically, it's a mixed bag. I don't like the character rendering,
Follow me.
especially the human faces. Those are pretty disappointing.
You deal with that a lot around here?
But then, especially the ship environments, those look great.
Well, good thing you're here then.
I do what I can.
This is one of those that I cannot walk slowly to match the, the character speed. Maybe with an analog stick I can do that, but with a mouse and keyboard... No, the combat feels floaty, especially hand to hand.
So, you have to.
ND5.
But again, visually, in my opinion, it's a mixed
Try a
bag.
nearby moisture farm.
I'll see if I can show you one of those Imperial ships.
I'll send you the coordinates.
It seems
Those
like
look
this guy's
nice.
got a lot
Those
of
look
enemies.
right out of Star Wars, obviously.
His line of work.
But then it's a mixed bag. especially again when with the characters. It's clearly in a rush. They made that in a rush. How many FPS can you get on the 5700 XT? I have no idea, but I'm guessing the AMD cards suffer quite a bit in this game. Because ray tracing everywhere. Whoops. Do you remember Flash player games? Of course. We built a Flash game with a friend once. When we were like 14. It was hilarious. It was horrible, but it was hilarious. Why she always sprinting? Because I decided to. There is... whoa. Yeah, that animation is straight out of Watch Dogs. That falling animation.
Ready to go?
Why she always sprinting? Because I chose... there's an option that you can always sprint. And I use it quite a bit. But that's a personal preference. Okay, here we go. The Splinter Cell marking system. What's the other? Oh. Also, I cannot shoot from the speeder unless I'm using that special ability to mark the enemies. Points.
Luck's holding out.
Yeah, I mean, on the 4080 Super is also, I mean, isn't like you can play native 4K at 60.
Think I'm here.
This game is clearly
What exactly
built on upscaling
is
and
this
ray
place?
tracing.
It's how the people here survive. You want water. You farm it from the atmosphere.
Huh. Haas, you here? Just want to talk. That looks like... You think it's Haas? Door stuck.
Okay, I'm leaving this quest. Oh, we're not in a quest yet. Gotcha. Let's go back then. Yeah, the VRAM usage is ridiculous. Let's do 1440p now. So on 1080p, you can actually do 50 to 60, 50 in the jungle, basically, with quality DLSS, and the graphics on high. Sorry, on medium. This should be a good balance, basically. You also have ray reconstruction, but it hasn't worked particularly great for me. Let me see very quickly. There we go. Yeah, ray reconstruction looks weird. In Cyberpunk, the same happened to me. The reflections look nice with ray reconstruction, but then the rest is like Vaseline all over the screen. Yeah. I'll ignore ray reconstruction, personally. I played most of the game with ray reconstruction. It was a bit... apart from the performance hit, it was a bit blurry, especially when moving the camera. Anyway, 1440p now. Hopefully I can do full screen, if my capture card allows me. Of course it doesn't allow me. Okay, 1440p. 1440p, quality, let's do balanced. So again, the non-full screen thing is actually my capture card. I think I had some issues with certain refresh rates. So 1440p, balanced DLSS. It's medium. I don't know why this says high. I'm on medium. No motion blur and no ray reconstruction. Okay, way sharper, obviously. Good. Yeah, the shadows still look pretty blocky. But obviously, we gotta go to the jungle. I don't even remember how the Avatar game runs, actually. Do you guys remember? Well, I have a video on that, so I can maybe look at it myself. I don't know why it's using so much VRAM, but it's insane the amount of VRAM this uses. We'll see in the jungle. In the jungle, it should be even worse on the VRAM side. Yeah, and I don't know why this happens. Maybe each time I change the resolution, I gotta restart the game or something. Or is it because I'm doing medium ray tracing? Well, let's restart. Oh man. Advice, restart the game if you change the resolution. Yeah, RAM reconstruction looks good in Alan Wake 2, but I also, in Alan Wake 2, I mean, the game already has some weird effects that make the image look soft, so it's a little bit less obvious. But in Cyberpunk, at least for me, the ray reconstruction was pretty broken, especially the first versions. Then it became better, but when I was driving a car, for example, in that game, when I move the camera, some stuff looks super blurry for some reason. And I don't know, but the ray tracing stuff looks great with ray reconstruction, so I'm not entirely sure what to think about it. Yeah, I mean, due to the ray tracing being basically enabled at all times, use a small VRAM. Okay, let me see if going back to the ship, we still get that. Yeah, no, now it's fine. I wish I could do daytime. Yeah, that's better, actually. Oh, you know what? I can try... Ray reconstruction would be perfect for this, actually. Because you can see some stuff is being ray traced, some geometry, but some other stuff is on screen space. So let's see, this is right now super grainy stuff when it comes to reflections, super grainy. Let's see with ray reconstruction. Yeah, this is water, believe it or not. Oh, okay, that's way better. But you get 10 frames less. But now it actually looks like water. This water, though, moves a little bit too fast, I would say. So I wish I could recommend ray reconstruction, but there's such a performance hit that I don't think it's worth using. Unless you don't want any weird ray tracing thing when it comes to the... oh man. The graininess of the reflections, especially. I think it's probably a bug.
Did you know that 1 in 5
But with ray reconstruction,
proper pressure dampeners?
I mean, it's night and day.
It's not yours.
It's a huge difference with ray reconstruction. I mean, just look at the water right now. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's a bug because it shouldn't affect performance. It should be actually improving. But I mean, just look at the water with ray reconstruction. Looks great, the reflection. It looks a bit fast though. I don't know why the water moves so fast. That's kind of weird. But if I disable ray reconstruction, apart from getting a big performance uplift, I'm jumping from the upper 30s to the low 50s. It's very pixelated. So again, I'm not sure if this is intended or not. In a document, Ubisoft said that there were some bugs using upscaling. I'm guessing this is one of them. This pixelated light thing. So I'll revisit it probably at the end of the week to see if this is fixed. But man, without ray reconstruction, the water looks horrible. I mean, what the hell? Let's try native res. So no upscaling. Yeah, I mean, even with native res, it still happens. Although the light is less pixelated, so the light makes more sense now. But the water is still pixelated. It's less pixelated though. So it's probably something to do with the upscaling. Interesting. Let's put it on DLSS once more. Yeah, definitely the upscaling has some effect. That's probably unwanted. So yeah, 1440p is nice and all. Of course, in the jungle is pretty demanding. I'm gonna go back here. Oh, that was fun. That level was fun. Too bad. Gotta go fast. Yeah, those are the volumetrics. Yeah, I know. But still, they changed a lot with the upscaling. I mean, those are the volumetrics being a lower option. But still.
Ready to go?
They clearly scale with resolution there. What's up with the camera? Can I ask a question unrelated to the game? Yeah, sure. I mean, I like some parts of the game, but there's a lot of things that get me out of the game very quickly. I'll tell you about that at the end. But on the 3060, you can do 1440p medium DLSS balanced. You get 50s. 50 to 60 depends on the level. Or you can do 1080p medium to high with quality DLSS. But DLSS, I would say, is mandatory in a game like this, unfortunately. But again, I think and again, this, if you see this, it actually does ray trace this geometry in the water, but the geometry loses the materials. The materials are no longer rendered, if I look down. Let's see if ray reconstruction fixes that issue. No, it doesn't. So yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's not intended. The reflection of the geometry doesn't have materials. it just gets white. So it's doing a ray trace reflection, but in the reflection, when you're looking at the reflection directly, the materials disappear. But man, I wish the ray reconstruction on this one wasn't affecting performance, because I think it's absolutely necessary. It makes the reflections look almost perfect. Without it, the reflections look super pixelated and grainy. Very low VVH. I mean, I think even on high, the VVH... Hold up, let's put it on ultra. I don't know where. Let's see if that fixes the reflection. So we're doing ultra for some reason. Let me see the settings. Let's see if everything is on ultra, just in case. Okay, ultra, ultra, ultra. Yeah, everything on ultra. Let's see if it dies. Okay, we're now on ultra. It still happens. So yeah, I don't know what's up with the materials in the reflection. Although this character is on screen space. Hi there. He doesn't care that I'm shooting at him. Yeah, I'm confused. They're forcing ray tracing on this geometry here, makes sense. But it loses the material in the reflection. And those characters were on screen space. Yeah, it's probably a bug, but still. It's distracting. I thought it was an issue on my end. Okay, I think it's time to do 4K. For 4K, I'm going to use high right away. With performance DLSS, obviously. Let me see if it actually allows me to do full screen now. Forget 4K? Never! 4K exists for a reason, to destroy the frame rate. Yeah, I don't know what's up with my capture card. It doesn't allow me to get certain full screen in certain games for some reason. That's annoying. Oh, by the way, screen tearing is going to show up. So apologies in advance. It's not on purpose. VRR doesn't work properly at 60 Hz on this monitor, but it's a capture card limitation. So expect to see some screen tearing now because I'm playing at 60 Hz. Full mods, ¿qué tal? Star Wars Survivors is completely different. This feels more like they tried to do Uncharted, mixed with Far Cry, mixed with Ghost Recon. I mean, they grabbed all other games that they have and they tried to put it into the Star Wars thing. So I'm not sure what the game is trying to do. I'm a bit confused. It's like they try to appeal to everyone, but end up appealing to nobody. Come on, give me 4K! I tried on the Steam Deck. Well, it wasn't nice. Yeah, I don't know why this is not allowing me to do it. Literally, my screen is 4K. I'm going to guess that is because the refresh rate. If the game wasn't provided, would you pay for it? At a discount? Sure. But it has to be discount with all the DLC. That's what I usually do with big games like this. They usually drop in price very quickly. So why bother playing on day one? There we go. Now it's actually at 4K. Yeah, another option is to get Ubisoft Plus. That is like Game Pass, but for Ubisoft games, and you can play this game. That's the other option. Yeah, the ROG Ally can probably play at 720. Yeah. The Steam Deck, though, the Steam Deck basically was into the 20s at all times. I mean, if you like Star Wars and you like open world Ubisoft stuff, you're probably going to like this. But it's too restrictive in certain parts when it comes to stealth. Because it's not everything action or everything stealth. It has some sections where stealth is 100% mandatory, and if you get caught, boom, back to the checkpoint. Like in the past. Remember those days? So I think, again, it's a mixed bag. I'm not really sure what they're trying to... who they're trying to appeal to on this one. Yeah, Black Myth Wukong is another option, but it's a completely different game. That's the thing. Some people just want open world Star Wars. And I get it. Okay. A 4K looks great when it comes to the edges. Especially the stuff into the distance. I wish I could play it like this all the time, actually. Although now that the sun is behind those clouds... Okay, the shadows had a hard time showing up. But this game likes VRAM. Oh, those are friendlies. I cannot shoot my friendlies, of course. That would be bad. Hey there!
Come on, buddy. Let's home. Well, Nix, that didn't work. Next attack.
It is better than Starfield so far. Well, if you're saying it's better than Starfield, the bar is very low to begin with, right? Let's be honest here. At 4K, you probably want to play on medium, actually. Let's say what distracts me is that geometry without without materials in the reflection. VRAM went up a gig at most from 1080p. Yeah, that's freaking weird. I agree. Although technically I'm rendering the game internally at 1080. So 4K is the target, but we're using performance DLSS, which internally is 1080p, looks way better than 1080p like this. So it kind of makes sense. If you want, you know what, let's do native 4K. Let's destroy the frame rate. So at native 4K, let's see how much the VRAM climbs. Looks super sharp now, which is good. But this is basically how the Steam Deck runs the game, actually. But of course, if you have a 3060, you probably are not targeting 4K. Let's be honest here. Oh, it crashed. Okay. I tried fast traveling now and it crashed. Awesome. That means that we have to change the GPU now. Let's use the 4060. See, that's my cue to swap GPUs. The Steam Deck runs the game at 4K. No, the Steam Deck runs the game below 720. And it runs at 20 FPS. You were expecting worse? Yeah, good point. Yeah, although before I swap GPU, let me reinstall the drivers because I already swapped 3 GPUs. And thank you so much, Marco Antonio Bermeo, for the 20 Mexican pesos donation. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. How's it going? He says 4060, let's go! Bloody right. Yeah, let's delete the drivers now and shut it down. Yeah, let's see what happens with 8 gigabytes of VRAM on a 4060. Yeah, man, I wish it had at least 12 gigabytes on the 4060. Would have been nice. Is this UE5? No, this is the Snowdrop engine. Same engine as the Avatar game. Which reminds me, the Avatar game was released 8 months ago. Let me check. 3060 on 1080p. Very quickly. Okay, so to get 60s in the Avatar game on 1080p, I needed DLSS quality, medium to high settings. Yeah, it runs pretty similar to the Avatar game, I think. And at 4K performance, no, actually the Avatar game runs better. 4K high with DLSS performance was into the 40s. Interesting. I see. Cool. Okay, the computer is off. Let's go. And yes, it does have a weird RGB at the left to give you like 100% more FPS. And I put a light at the top. That's why I think the PC looks better now. Although I need to install the drivers now, so give me a moment. I think you can see this actually. Yep. I'm installing the drivers now. 80p high, DLASS, native AA, and this is a 4060. I forgot to make the graphic for it, so I'm going to do this. Free fan GPU without screw? No, it's two fans. The triple fan one was the 3050. No screw minus 10 FPS. Now it looks like it's sagging, but it's actually the angle of the camera. The camera is a little to the left and in a weird angle. It looks sagged, but it's not. It's completely fine. Yeah, Iron Man gives you another 20 FPS. So if you mix ray tracing with RGB plus Iron Man, plus the GPU being held on with a screw, it gives you like a 40 FPS improvement, definitely. Now there is a screw holding it at the bottom. Wooden screws, yeah, that will give you even another 20% improvement with wooden screws. Saggy GPUs, saggy FPS. Yeah, the image goes all bent to the right. Let's see. Let's see how it goes. Are you still playing Black Myth? Yeah, I'm about to get to Act 2. I'm trying to slowly burn through it. You're nervous? Why? ¿Cuáles son las temperaturas de la CPU cuando juegas? Y menos de 70, fácil. Se mantiene siempre debajo de 70. I love the part where the screen goes black during the driver update. It's a classic. Will you play the new Call of Duty? Yeah, on Friday. The beta will be on Game Pass, so I'll be able to play it there. I just have to disconnect and reconnect my capture card in order to get an image again. There we go. Ah, nice. Oh, I think I know why my game wasn't going to exclusive full screen. I didn't even open the control panel for the other cards. Call of Duty gives you memory from last year, the 16K test. We did 8K. Did we go to 16K? What? That's insane. Sorry guys, I gotta do this to avoid screen tearing. I don't want you guys to see screen tearing. It's annoying, especially in a video. It destroys your eyes. Okay, so I cleanly installed this GPU because I was getting some weirdness with the other one. Yeah, 16K monitors will be cheap soon enough. Instead of $10,000, it will probably be 9,000. So yeah, completely fine, affordable. I agree. We did 16K and it crashed, and then you sent a crash report to them. Yeah, I remember now. That was funny. Yeah, I think we were at 8K and I increased the slider to 200%. Yeah, 8K by itself is already nonsense. I think 4K already looks way too good. I mean, going above 4K I think is kind of a waste. How is it on the 3070? The 3070 is probably a bit faster than this one actually. Shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, I mean, this monitor that I have is 4K, 27 inches. And I would say for 4K, maybe do 32 inches at least. Oh, I see. Electric Pichu. Yeah, I remember NVIDIA advertising 8K with a 3090. I do remember that. That's why they invented ultra performance DLSS. Come on, capture card. There you go. Finally. Okay, so we're on native AA with DLSS, so we have better edges. Whoops, I opened the calculator, sorry. I have a shortcut for that. Stupid. Sí, lo voy a probar en el Steam Deck. Yeah guys, Steam Deck test coming right after this video. I'll do it as a video instead of as a live stream, just due to the fact that, well, it wouldn't be a very long live stream. Let's leave it at that. So we're on the high preset, which is something like this. And we are at 1080p with native DLSS. Yeah, the original Doom ran at 320 by 240. Yeah, good times. Let's see. Moment of truth. Yeah, I need 720p monitors. Turning off ray tracing, that's not an option, sorry. Okay. Okay, the VRAM is already basically filled, I think.
Ready, Nix?
Okay. It runs a bit better than the 3060. No surprises there. But I'm pretty sure at a higher resolution it will be an issue. So yeah, obviously this is a DLSS game, as I will call it. An upscaling game. Ray tracing is basically on medium on the high preset actually. So this is actually medium ray tracing. The actual highest ray tracing is above the ultra preset. Oh yeah. High is ultra, no, ultra is ultra and high is high. Though I'm already seeing some pop-in. Weird pop-in. Yeah, some rocks are kinda buggy there. You just ran me over. Yeah, it's probably 30 frames on the consoles. I don't know how, if this has a 16 mode on the consoles, I wonder if it's below 720p. So on the high preset, this is the ray tracing options, basically. But ray tracing can go past the high preset in the reflections and the speculars. So if I actually keep it on high with ultra ray tracing, it's probably going to be quite messy. And no, not the football player. So if you put ray tracing on ultra, it's going to suffer quite a bit. Oh, there was a part that had nice reflections in this map. Xbox One is gonna... No, this is not Xbox One. Come on. Are you serious? This wouldn't run on Xbox One, let's be honest. Oh, okay, a 40 FPS mode on consoles for 120 Hz makes more sense. Yeah, this part. Yeah, I can see the reflection there. You can see even see your own reflection on the ground. Although some things are not being reflected, I think. Yeah, that's a cube mic, come on. Alright, that's a reflection there. Although they're pretty low resolution, these ones. Is there absolutely no option to turn off ray tracing? Nope. There's none. This is what you can do with ray tracing. Well, Another thing, funnily enough, there's also RTX direct lighting, RTX DL or DI, I guess. This is for more accurate lighting, so you get an even better frame rate. Funnily enough, this Nvidia thing is the one that I noticed the less, but it halves your frame rate. RTX direct lighting. So yeah, you can make it run even worse. Although when I was playing last week, Ubisoft said in a document that RTX direct lighting wasn't working properly. So I'm unsure. But it's not worth using in my opinion, just due to the performance hit. You're better off using the ray tracing inside of the game. I mean, just the ray tracing that comes with the game itself is already demanded enough. But you don't need to put it on ultra. What's the point? Again, if you choose the high preset, you're going to have this on medium. On the high preset, ray tracing settings look something like this. But if you go to the lowest setting, ray tracing is still there, just less rays. But as you can see, you cannot completely turn it off. So the reflections are still there, but they are way lower resolution. So you have less samples. So worse reflections, worse direct shadows? No, sun shadows will look worse as well. As you can see there. But that's about it. Ray tracing is there, whether you like it or not, unfortunately. So let's try something else. Let's try medium super quickly. Medium basically kills your ray tracing, which is fine. But again, we're playing on a 4060. This is a game that tells you, hey, you could use DLSS, you know. That's basically what you have to do. Because without DLSS, you need to drop the settings down. But it doesn't look that different. What I see differently is the draw distance of the shadows, of the point lights, so the spotlights, the resolution of the shadows and the resolution of the reflections, and that's about it. The game itself looks pretty similar, well, the pop-in of the objects into the distance. I mean, if you want to try the game, Ubisoft Plus, I think is the best way. I wouldn't buy this game at full price. But this is the main thing. Let me see if I increase the ray tracing of the sun casting shadows. I think it was called. Contact shadows, my bad. These are from the sun. They still look pretty bad, actually. Are those not cast shadows from the sun? I don't know. Nope. The game doesn't seem to care. So again, I'm not sure if it's a bug. But those are the highest quality shadows. Again, I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong. I'm confused. Scatter environments. Shadow proxies are disabled. Yeah, the shadow stuff is all maxed out. Yeah. I don't know, confusing. Confusing and disappointing. Yeah, I can use Ray Reconstruction, but it actually affects performance on this one. Okay, let's go back to the high preset. I would use a mix of medium and high actually. But before that, let me enable DLSS. Because clearly this game requires it. We also have Frame Gen on the 40 series cards and Ray Reconstruction. But for the Ray Reconstruction, I want to show you another map. Because in other maps it's quite obvious. So Ray Reconstruction actually looks great, in my opinion. The thing is, it affects performance on this one, which, if I remember correctly, it was there to increase visuals, keeping the performance. Yeah, the new Warhammer looks amazing. The Warhammer game, yeah. Space Marine 2, super excited for that one. That's my kind of game. Yeah, Frame Gen, that's a good question actually. If you use Frame Gen, what happens with the textures due to the low VRAM? That's a good question, because we're already using a lot of VRAM. This is DLSS Quality. So as you can see with DLSS Quality, it actually fixes the performance right away, obviously. Okay, so this is where Ray Reconstruction is the most obvious. So, see those reflections? Well, they're a bit grainy. Well, quite a bit grainy actually, especially if you look at it in the middle of the screen. And we're at a nice 69 FPS. So if we enable Ray Reconstruction here, come on, enable it. The reflections are way better, but we lose 15 FPS. I think this should be the default way. But yeah, the reflections are significantly better with Ray Reconstruction, but for some reason we take a huge hit to performance.
It is every Akivan's privilege to contribute to the might of the Empire.
Yeah, 30% impact. But the reflections look way better. It's actually shocking how much better it looks with Ray Reconstruction. Just look at the reflection. FSR Frame Gen built in. Yeah, you have FSR 3 Frame Gen as well. But in this case, we can use Frame Gen with this card. So I'll do as you guys asked. I'm going to use Ultra with Ray Reconstruction. Plus Ray Reconstruction Ultra. The Ultra preset though is not the highest settings, so let's increase, you know what, let's keep it on high with the ray tracing. With Ray Reconstruction it keeps us on high anyway. So the Ultra preset, no motion blur, no film grain, no RTX direct lighting. This kills the performance, doesn't make sense. And DLSS Quality with Ray Reconstruction. Okay, some geometry still loses the materials. For some reason this is flickering. Yeah, maybe I have to restart actually. Yeah, some stuff into distance flickers a bit. Maybe the resolution.
This is a public warning about the coming monsoon season.
And well, since we're on a 4060, we can actually use frame generation which again, I wouldn't use frame generation personally. I'm not a fan of the latency. But we have NVIDIA Reflex here. I'm guessing this will be on by default when using frame gen. Yeah, they're probably going to drop a day one patch. They updated the game quite often.
A power converter can make all the difference during a monsoon.
Plus
Got a new
frame
one
gen
today.
DLSS. So here we have all the features. But the textures are not loading properly. I'm guessing VRAM limitation. Because frame generation requires quite a bit of VRAM, actually. So we're already looking at that. Let's restart the game. Run out of VRAM. Oh no. I was waiting for that. Yeah, the 3070 and 3070 I having 8 gigabytes is an insult. Can 3050 hit 60 to 70? If you lower the resolution and settings, yeah, you can. Medium to high, maybe balance DLSS, and you have probably 50 to 70. Depends really on the area. At the beginning you'll be fine. When you get to the jungle area is when it suffers the most, actually. That water bottle is not a bottle, it's a jug. What the hell? I'm thirsty. How many liters? 6. Alright. Where is that location I was just a second ago? Here. 2060 12 gigs version. That's the one that you should get, yeah. I agree. Okay, let's go. We have everything enabled. I'm hoping for daytime though. Okay, textures loaded in properly. That's good. Okay, we seem to be fine now. So when you change certain graphic settings, sorry, you need to restart the game because all that texture streaming actually takes some time. But a ray reconstruction, I think, is mandatory for a game like this.
All goods transported between Akiva and other destinations must be declared at customs.
Yeah, maybe it has a memory leak, but still, it uses a lot of VRAM. But what Ubisoft told me that was going to be improved as patches rolled in was how the game looks with upscaling. That's one of them. So I'm guessing that has to do with these materials and the reflections. He also told me that frame generation was going to be improved. But so far it seems to be working fine, the frame gen. But if you're playing this game, frame gen is probably a good idea. The base frame rate is 45 to 50, like this. But again, I'm not a big fan of frame generation personally. Do you think it can run in a 3060 1080p max without ray tracing? The thing is, you cannot turn it off. Ray tracing is there. What you can do is 1080p max, disable all the ray tracing. Disable. Put every ray tracing setting on low, and that should do it. I wish it was daytime though. A ray reconstruction definitely fixes the reflection ray tracing. Yeah, this game doesn't allow you to turn off ray tracing. It's there whether you want it or not. Like in the Avatar game, guys. In the Avatar game, we had the same issue. I'm guessing they built the game with that in mind as a base, so if they turn it off, there will be no light.
Some of these parts look ancient.
People on the fringes make do with.
Okay. By the way, you also have Frame Gen if you use FSR 3. So keep that in mind. If you don't have a 40 series card, you can use frame generation with FSR. Okay, so now no frame gen, no ray reconstruction. For some reason, again, ray reconstruction destroys the frame rates. I don't know why. And while I'm playing on Ultra, I would play on High probably, because that puts ray tracing on medium.
I'll keep my eyes open. Might be some
That's
hidden
it.
treasure in here.
But yeah, some textures break when you change settings. So something with the texture streaming is not working properly. Maybe that's what they were talking about when they were mentioning, oh yeah, frame gen doesn't work properly. Oh well. Because this happened multiple times and a game restart fixed it. But sometimes I change certain graphic settings and if I don't restart, I start getting glitches on the visuals. So anyway, I'll do a balance of graphics now, just to see what I would do. The first thing, environment reflection on medium. Fog blur, meh. Micro detail, medium should be good. Particles. I mean, on high the edges are more soft, looks more realistic. But when you have particles close to the camera, it kills the performance. Scatter density, I think medium is good enough. Shadow quality on medium, it still looks pretty poor on high. The spotlights, let's keep it on moderate. The resolution of the spotlights, I think high should be good enough. The formable terrain, let's put that on medium. Especially in the sand, it was pretty noticeable. Maybe on high, to have an in between. This, do whatever you want with it. Extra streaming distance is pretty heavy, 30. Object detail, I wouldn't put it anything below 100 because the pop-in is obvious. So I'll keep it at 150. This on medium, I don't really care much about depth of field. Destruction, medium. Spotlight resolution, 256. Terrain tessellation, medium is fine. Ray tracing, the big one. I'll put everything on medium or low. And the VVH quality, I didn't notice much of a difference with medium to high. So personally, like this or at the lowest when it comes to ray tracing, you're going to notice it. And the volumetrics, the fog on high, the clouds on medium. The fog on anything below high looks pixelated when it comes to the fog with upscaling. And it will be something like that. Yeah, I expected way more of the highest settings. Highest settings looks better than what I put here, but the highest settings doesn't look better enough, in my opinion. I wish it had more obvious improvements. And there you get a big boost to performance. Yeah, the shadows look worse, whatever, the reflections are less defined. But the game, in my opinion, is way more stable. And you don't need a frame generation for that. Again, it doesn't look that different on Ultra. Which makes me feel bad for people that actually have good computers. If you have an RTX 4090, you're probably going to be disappointed. Which freaking sucks. You study or work? I work. No worries, the awesome Batman 7.
I'm off.
Good.
And again, the part that suffers the most is definitely the jungle. So that's what you should be benchmarking, in my opinion.
Hold on, Max.
But as you can see, this gives us good enough performance with just using quality, and this is not ultra. Mid high, I'll call it, because ray tracing. Any CPU issues? On the CPU side, it seems to be fine. But again, the settings that I would use is something about medium to high. Ultra doesn't look better enough,
Huh. That's the only
all things
red
considered.
I've seen on
The biggest
planet.
upgrade I would say
Wonder why.
of having a higher end GPU would be the draw distance.
KN5.
You can increase it quite significantly actually.
Does this mean you don't want to work with me?
The draw distance can be pretty good actually. But I think in the middle there at 125, 150 on the draw distance looks good enough. Pop-in isn't as obvious.
Where was I? Hey, Andy.
Yeah, this was not ultra settings. And there's no shader compilation stutter. When it comes to that, they did a good job. What they didn't do a good job with, in my opinion, is scalability. I think it could have looked way better than this. And well, we have some texture bugs. I forgot to restart the game.
Huh, that really doesn't
My
sound
bad.
like a geek.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. That's funny. Yeah, let me restart. I said I was going to restart and I didn't.
Not
So if you change settings quite aggressively, like I'm doing right now, restart the game for your own sanity. But what I would do, again, those settings will be the ones that I will use just to have a good balance of visuals and performance without killing the GPU. Because you can make the game run very poorly just by putting some stuff on high, which, again, the difference is not that big, in my opinion. And the 8GB of VRAM seems to be fine for 1080p, but I don't know at other resolutions. That has me a bit worried. But the real villain, I think, is Nvidia for putting 8GB of VRAM on a 60 series card. I was excited for Stalker 2. Hell yeah. It seems to be super demanding though. That one will be interesting. Okay, we're back here.
let's get moving.
Okay, so as long as you get good performance in this part of the game, you should be good for the rest of the game.
Sure. I go with the droid, right?
Because there's a lot of vegetation over here.
Yeah.
And on this one also you can notice the pop-in if you put it at the lowest. The pop-in here is super aggressive at anything below 100. Why 2 times Santiago? Because that's 2 times the fun.
Oh, all right. Where was I? Yeah, I got a taste of that. Deke's always had a way with droids. Sure, he likes them more than people.
I hope they won't delay Stalker 2 again. Well, we're about to find out, I guess. We're pretty close to release, right? Yeah, the 3060 is like 10 frames behind, as far as I remember. But it has more VRAM, so if we're doing 1440p, it should be more stable.
People from desert worlds often find the amount of moisture on Akiva unsettling.
Good to know. I don't mind it.
You'll reconsider after it's rained for 3 cycles straight.
What I'm wishing though is for a Steam release. It will still need Uplay, obviously, unfortunately. Oh look, I'm stealthing.
What are you doing here? Hey, I've got you.
So funny it takes them so long to see me if I'm crouching. Crouching is OP in this game.
Can't even scratch that thing. I'm
Oh,
attracting a lot of heat.
If you're doing combat, good luck. Actually, here I would use ray reconstruction with these settings, on this card at
I
least.
hope Gadik's okay.
RBM 4070 and 4080. Unfortunately, I don't have them. But this already takes me too much time. So I don't think I could even add them if I wanted to. Yeah, ray reconstruction fixes the reflections for me. Although it keeps us barely above 60. Barely into the
You're
60s.
not letting up.
Yeah, ray reconstruction, it even broke without restarting the game now. Great.
Let's get him, Nick.
Just like in Cyberpunk. For some reason I enable ray reconstruction in Cyberpunk and I need to restart. That's so annoying.
They won't quit.
As I was saying, ray reconstruction, if you don't mind some drops into the 50s in the jungles and areas. Because in the reflections it does make a difference. 4080 would sag, that's okay. I can put a piece of glass to hold it. Does this game have the Nubo? I think so. It probably does, yeah.
This way. We got her. Hold the area. Right away.
Anyway. So for 1080p, this is what I would do. Ray reconstruction. If you want to stay at 60 even in the jungle, disable ray reconstruction. But it makes the reflection look so much better. It's ridiculous. Quality DLSS. If you don't mind frame generation, you can use it. At 60s is okay, but I can feel the latency. Graphics, basically medium, with high spotlights, high deformable terrain, 150 object detail, 30 is extra streaming distance, destruction on medium, the ray tracing stuff on medium, volumetric fog on high. In this case, it does make a noticeable difference. Volumetric clouds on medium. And, well, the RTX direct lighting, ignore it completely. And that's basically my 1080p settings for the 4060. I think it's time to do 1440p. Let me see if I can do full screen now. Because my capture card sometimes, yeah, no. My capture card doesn't want me to do so. But I think I'm at 1440p now, actually. Yeah, good. So for 1440p, probably balanced upscaling. And the same settings that I showed you before, but let me restart the game. I tried with the 750 Ti. It wouldn't launch, like on Avatar. Yeah, the VRAM is at the absolute limit. Nvidia, what the hell with the VRAM? But hey, they need you to replace the card at some point, right? Okay, see you, top 10. What is direct lighting? It's basically a more accurate system for the lighting with NVIDIA SDK. The thing is, that gives you like half the frame rate. So if you're playing at 60, as an example, and you enable that RT direct lighting, you get 30 FPS. So I don't think, I mean, it's pretty subtle. You probably can notice a difference if you look closely, but the performance difference is so large that I wouldn't even use it. Doesn't make sense. Yeah, this game has frame generation, FSR3 frame gen and DLSS RTX 40,000 series frame gen. So if you have an NVIDIA card that is not a 40 series, you can use FSR3 frame gen if you're interested. I don't know how it runs on consoles. But on consoles, if it apparently has a 40 FPS mode, but if they have a 60 frames mode, please tell me how they do it, because it's very hard to get 60s on PC. Alright, 1440p, DLSS balance, graphics. Here it says ultra, but it's actually medium to high. This seems to be a good balance in my opinion. More VRAM better than faster VRAM? Sometimes. It depends how slow the VRAM it is. If you're talking about a GT 1030, well. Yeah, but I'm seeing some bugs when I first start the game. Maybe it's the ray tracing. Trying to... yeah, this. I'm not sure why this happens. After playing the game for like 2 minutes, it fixes itself, but... oops. Is it true that this is a stealth game? It has forced stealth sections, which I'm a guy that likes stealth, but in this game, I think the system is not polished enough to have places where it says, okay, if we get detected, you get kicked out of this part.
We lost her. That's odd.
Oh, so close.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, that thing scares it. Yeah, one hit, one shot, one kill. This is 1440p, by the way. Forgot to mention. How much more FPS with the 4060 Ti? Probably 10 frames ahead, maybe. Which in this game it would be a big difference. And these lights look like this because I'm playing with medium fog. That's why they look like that. And the upscaling, some pixelation occurs at the edges as well. Is the VRAM an issue with 8GB cards? If you do not restart the game, yeah, it's an issue. When you change a setting in this game, consider restarting. Otherwise, I had graphical bugs. But yeah, I'm seeing that there's issues with the 8GB, especially above 1080p. If you look at this, I'm playing at 1440p, and these textures are broken. And they take forever to load. So definitely 8GB seems to be an issue. Because as an example, I ran into this problem on 4GB cards on 1080p. But on the 3060, this never happened. So yeah. It's just like 10GB at 1440p for me. And I cannot shoot him. Yeah, sure. Go on, sir. Excuse me. Sir. Is everything okay, sir? Yeah, you missed a 3060. The 3060 at 1440p was more stable when it came to textures. I think it only happened once when I didn't restart the game on the 3060. Here I think it's the second time it happens. No, sorry. The first time, but at 1440p. Yeah, what I'm happy about is that the stutter is basically not there. So that's good. That's a big improvement. Yeah, textures here are fine. So yeah, it takes a bit longer, but you can still play at 1440p if you want to. It's just not 100% perfect. And personally, with this card, I'll just do 1080 with ray reconstruction, so the reflections are not grainy. If you use ray reconstruction, you lose performance though, which is weird. It shouldn't happen. But again, on release day, we're going to try it again. I'm not sure if I'm doing a live stream, because I'll probably be playing Call of Duty, the beta. But as a first impression, some things seem to be broken at the moment when it comes to graphics. Yeah, I mean, it's better than The Last of Us textures at launch, but again, that's a low bar. Let's go to a planet where it's actually daytime. Did I go into this planet? No, I haven't. LMAO. Yeah, poor Joel, low textures, yeah. Yeah. Water is on turbo speed. Yeah, sometimes the water was going super fast for some reason.
See you later.
Good.
Oh man, still nighttime. Isn't there a button so I can sleep until it's daytime or something? Oh, never mind. The sun is coming out. So yeah, if you're doing 1440p, it works, but there are sometimes textures fail to load. At least on this card. Yeah, I mean, 16GB cards should be like the 4070, should be 16GB. I'm not sure if it is. I'm forgetting. But I mean, 16GB shouldn't be that much of a luxury. I mean, come on. There's a 16GB 4060 Ti, but it's so much more expensive that it doesn't make sense to use it. To get it, let us say. Let's do 4K now, just to finish up. It's been 3 hours, holy hell. I've been here for a while. What the hell? That went by super quickly. And I already need... Man, I need to run. I was expecting this video to be 1.5 hours, but it ended up being 3 hours. Well, that means that I'm enjoying myself, at least, analyzing stuff. Yeah, I'm the Duracell bunny. The funny thing is, I cannot take much longer because I need to make the timestamps for the stream, first of all, so nobody wastes their time jumping in between parts of the video. That will take me probably 30 minutes. And then I have to eat, wait an hour, go to the gym, and then I have a Kung Fu class. So I'm pretty limited on time today, actually. And thank you so much, Marco Antonio Bermeo, for the 10 Mexican pesos donation. Thank you so much. I was going to record the Steam Deck, but I guess I'll have to do it at night, because I won't be home for a few hours. Yeah, I'm doing that Batman training. Wushu, no, it's more like similar to Shaolin, but it's not that. It's a mix of many versions of Kung Fu. We just do not fight. We practice fighting, but not with another person. We hit the air. Okay, 4K. We're actually doing the same as before. Oh, but the game put itself on high. Dang it. Okay. Hold up. I need to focus. You have to teach us Kung Fu? No, I'm not Keanu Reeves. That guy really does know Kung Fu. Alright. Medium, 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 moderate, medium. No, this test on high, this test on medium. This 150, this medium, this medium. This is fine. The volumetrics here do make a difference. And then, okay, 4K performance DLSS. And let's see how the VRAM fares, because we only have 8 gigabytes. Fingers crossed.
See you later.
Okay.
Okay, I'm already seeing weird rendering in the distance. Oh no! No! Dang it! Yeah, I'm guessing this is a VRAM thing. What the hell? Look at the eyes! Look at Nyx's eyes. The eyes of Nyx are blue. I'm in the back rooms. Okay, now it fixed itself. Okay, that has to be... I mean, look at the highlights on the grass. This is definitely a VRAM limitation. Come on. Yeah, this is a VRAM thing. I'll restart just to give it another shot, but do not play at 4K on an 8GB card. Just to give it the benefit of the doubt, I'm going to allow a restart. Yeah, that was quite beautiful. I think that was Pandora, the planet from Avatar. Nice cameo. That was an Easter egg, right? She's invincible. Destroyed uranium menace with a jump. Yeah! Yeah, no, it was probably a reference to Avatar Frontiers of Pandora. It was the planet Pandora. I'm pretty sure it was just an Easter egg. The VRAM right now, I'm tired, boss. Yeah, it's funny because the 4060, I bought it last week. And it's already... But I'm playing at 4K. This is a 1080p card, so... Technically, we're above spec. Technically. Yeah, the noiser issue, but it also wasn't rendering it properly, I think. Yeah, there it goes. Yeah, Ray Reconstruction though in this game, but I don't know why. Maybe it's trying to do oh man, what's the name of this effect? The highlights. Maybe the highlights of the wet grass are trying to be rendered, but there's too few samples. Not enough samples, so it does that thing. It did that on Avatar when I was playing on Steam Deck, but one thing is a Steam Deck, one other thing is not enough VRAM. Yeah, I mean, the 4060 can do 4K on older games super easily. Yeah, it took a bit, but it now looks better than before, at least. But definitely the VRAM is the biggest limitation, by far. But if you want to do 4K, you can. Just expect some graphical bugs.
The Empire's working
So well, I think it's now time to do conclusion. Well, my first conclusion is if you have 4 gigabytes of VRAM, do not even try to play this. Textures won't load properly, the game will look horrible. Another thing that we learned today is that while ultra settings is nice to have in the game, it doesn't look that much better than high, that much better, but it runs much worse. I think what this game needs is more scalability. Playing on low really doesn't look that much worse. It affects mostly the resolution of the shadows, the resolution of the reflections, the ray tracing quality in general, what's in the reflections, what's not in the reflections, the draw distance. That's basically the biggest changes. Otherwise, the game doesn't look that much better on the highest settings. Yeah, technically it has more complex shadows, all that good stuff, better reflections, better draw distance. But when it comes to, oh man, this game looks great, this one, I think the art needs more work. It does look like Star Wars, don't get me wrong, but I feel that they could have done so much better that I'm pretty disappointed. Then Ray Reconstruction, for some reason, takes 30% hit to performance. Again, it shouldn't, but the reflections look significantly better with Ray Reconstruction. Then when it comes to NPCs, the NPCs, especially the human ones, look horrible. I mean, some of them just move their mouths and their head and their face has very little animation. But then the environments, I really do like the artificial environments. For example, you're in one of those big ships. That looks pretty good. Then the cities and the open parts are pretty meh. The parts when you are in the Imperial ships, those look good. Something like this, something like the metal sheen and all that. Looks pretty Star Wars, so in that regard, it's fine. But again, the NPCs are pretty rough. Even the main character, I think, could do better when it comes to facial animation. They feel too robotic. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing is this game does have sections that have mandatory stealth. And you cannot basically go guns blazing, which is fine, I understand, but sometimes the enemies see you for no reason. Also, the AI is pretty dumb, especially in the stealth sections. I can be crouching, I tell Nix, this small friendly there, that he has to attack an enemy. He attacks him, then at the same time I knock out the other enemy that is right behind him. And if I'm crouching, the other enemy doesn't see me, but if I'm running to hit him, sometimes they see me and immediately arrest me. So I don't know, it's kind of weird. It feels, how to say it, it's a mixed bag when it comes to graphics and gameplay. But it's clearly like Far Cry in third person, with some parts trying to be Uncharted. Instead of Nathan Drake, this would be like, I don't know, Nelly Drake, maybe? Yeah, the companion is the best part of the game, without a doubt. But one thing that I did like was the reputation thing with different factions. For example, I'm good with Crimson Dawn, so I can enter their territory and they won't say no. They'll just let me in without a problem. I think this is... no, this is not. I have a bad relationship with Pike, so they don't allow me in, so I have to sneak in. That's pretty cool. But, for example, if I get inside that area from someplace else, they can... if they see me, they'll just kick me out. It's not that I can kill them all and rush in.
And stay out. My mistake.
So yeah, I cannot force them.
Just passing through.
It kind of makes sense, but still.
Hey, I just got turned around. All right, my mistake. Hey, I just got turned around. My mistake.
Yeah, I mean, if I had a good relationship with this faction, I could go in, but not gonna happen. I can sneak in someplace else, but there's one or two ways, and the game has... Well, if you guys played Red Dead 2, if you stray away a little bit from what the game wants you to do in the story, it'll say, hey, go back to the quest area. So in that way, it's like Red Dead 2. The part that I don't like about Red Dead 2 is what this game has in common with it. So that bothers me, really. Because if you try to do one thing outside of what they wanted you to complete the game as, they'll tell you, oh no, it's not that way, go back to the checkpoint, or something like that. And that's super annoying. So yeah, I'm fine with the game restricting you, but I wish the restrictions had a purpose. Especially when it comes to the stealth, the mandatory stealth sections. I'm pretty sure I have a save in one of those Stormtrooper sections that if you raise the alarm, you have to go back to the checkpoint. That's very 2011 on 2014. But your companion, Nix, is the best part of the game. Just look at how cute he is.
Distract him, Nix.
Hold on.
That's cute as hell.
A little more.
Shoo!
Can you talk to the NPCs? Some NPCs, yeah, but those are mostly the quest ones.
Why is it always me?
Okay, you got my attention. Crimson Dawn has
So there's some NPCs that'll give you side quests
for someone with your
to get better reputation with
If
the
price is
factions.
right, there's more than just credits on the table here.
But no, you cannot talk to anybody. But here, this is an example. This faction likes me. I'm in a good relationship, so I can go in. There's no problem. If I steal, they will kick me out.
I guess it's all quiet.
But if I go to a restricted area, as an example, imagine I want to rob something. It's not like I can take my gun out and kill them all. I can knock them out if I want to. But I don't know, this is a restricted area. Oh no, okay. I know that if I go this way, I can actually go on ahead. And look what my companion can do. I can distract him. There, I also do not like the takedown animations. They look floaty. But see those two enemies? I could tell my companion to hit one of them. I hit the other.
All right, Nix, go get him.
So I could do this. If I go crouching, it's okay. I can come here. I cannot knock him out for some reason.
Finally!
And here I freaked up. He saw me. I got caught. Okay, so you say, okay, got caught. What happens now? I get kicked out of this small area and I lose reputation. I mean, it makes sense.
Busy?
But I lost all that thing that I was doing there. I'm back here. So, I don't know, I don't like that much, honestly. Because in some missions it's mandatory to rob something in here. And if you get caught, you just lose reputation and then it's harder to get in. So I don't like that personally. I think that's pretty lame.
I need to upgrade my blaster.
Oh yeah, I got him. Well, last time I had to get inside this part. And look at this, imagine you want to get it in here. Well, that door basically doesn't open. But if I get a few feet close to the door...
Get out! Now!
There, okay, I'll get out. Yeah, sure. But if you get through this area, it's still a restricted area. So they might, if you get very close, they might grab you and kick you out right away. So you're back to the beginning. I don't know. No, con la 4070 está bien. So while I like some parts of the game, many things are very annoying. Let me see if I can find the part where you're against the stormtroopers. That part, I mean, visually looks great, but then you have that forced stealth stuff that I do not understand. This is another part of the game. I don't remember what I was doing here. Oh well, this is the part that I had to rub that I told you guys. Hold up. I think it was this one. Yeah, before hyperspace. Linkin Park logo profile pic. Who? Withstanding with one faction lowers another. In missions, you can choose stuff that can affect your relationship with two factions. So, for example, I don't know, you are in the you're in a mission and they tell you, oh, you need to actually frame the Pike Syndicate for something, or you can actually do the opposite and frame Crimson Dawn. So Pike Syndicate will increase and Crimson Dawn will lower. It really depends on the mission, but you can also do missions to increase your relationships with them. Which, again, I think is a good idea, but the execution, I think, is not great. I like the idea of factions, relationships, and all that, but it's half-baked so far. Here. Okay, my new computer is located in High Republic shipwreck. But again, I enjoyed the game until some parts that annoy me happen. Yeah, I already went here. This is before the wreck. I'm so confused. I'm sorry, guys. I think I do not have that save. Yeah. Oh well. What can you do? But there was one part that was awesome. That was in one of those stormtrooper ships. Can you kill Java with salt? That would be a nice thing to do, actually. I would do people a favor. So yeah, what bothers me is the missions that have for stealth. That basically they see you and boom, in a nanosecond you're kicked out and you gotta try again. Or you lose reputation. And in one of those filling stations, they ask you to do the same thing. Do not raise the alarm or the entire ship will close down, which makes sense. But the stealth is not robust enough for that to be something good. If they force you to do stealth, at least the stealth system should be good enough. That's what I'm trying to say. Can I use DLSS with FSR Frame Gen? That's a good question. I don't think so. I don't think I can land here anymore, but still. I'll give it a shot.
Watch it, Kay.
That's on me.
I'm in. Or am I? No, I'm not in. They don't want me here.
Spooling the hyperdrive.
Whoa. Yeah, I'm at 4K. That's why I'm stuttering. Not enough VRAM. Return to the game. What do you mean? That's cool. So yeah, what bothers me is the 4 stealth sections and the Red Dead 2 IDs that it has with missions. That the missions, basically if you stray off the mission a little bit in a quest, it spawns you back where you were before. So that to me completely sucks.
Hyperdrive coming online.
So yeah. I think this game should be good if you're, I don't know, playing maybe on Ubisoft Plus. Because you only pay a month of subscription and play the game. Or you get on a deep sale when all the DLC is included. That would be, in my opinion, the way to do it. So yeah, I like the game. I have issues with it, but I wouldn't buy it at full price. But I was excited for this one, honestly.
Whoa, are those pike ships?
And hunts.
Yeah, DLCs and patches. I mean, buy it cheaper, and the game will be running even better than this, probably.
It'd be nice to visit a planet that isn't a war zone once in a while.
But I think it nails the Star Wars look in certain environments, especially those flying bases from the Empire. The flying bases actually look like the movies. Yeah, I'll try the Steam Deck, but I can already tell you that it will be below 30 across the board. I'm going to do that video when I come back. Because, well, I've been here for 3.5 hours. And I gotta run. So yeah. I would say on the Steam Deck it's not going to be nice, but I'm going to make a video, so don't worry. On SteamOS it crashes, on Windows it works. At 4K I think even 4090 will struggle in this game native. Yeah, definitely. This is a game that requires upscaling.
Imperial squads using nothing but their own weapons.
I like this guy.
I cannot confirm the validity of that story.
He's a legend with a blaster
So yeah.
ND and
Play at 1080p or 1440p on 3060, 1080p or 1440p on 4060.
Small-time sheriff for looting
And that's about it. And cutscenes are locked at 30, the real-time ones,
His
for
rep,
some
he probably
reason.
planned it.
Possible.
What, you don't trust Jalen's people?
Yeah, I mean, the facial animations,
Not even
this
me?
is the main character.
That's fair.
Oh, yeah. 30 FPS cutscenes. Love
Hey
it.
there, ND5.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this insightful, useful, all that. Some of the issues with the rendering that I ran into before restarting the game. Some of those things were mentioned by Ubisoft when they sent me the code, but they released a few patches.
Okay.
I'm guessing some of that stuff will be ironed out with some of the patches. But again, there are technical difficulties.
Down near where Haas was
I'm not expecting them to give you 20 FPS more, but I want at least Ray Reconstruction to run properly. That's basically it. Yeah, the tearing is because I'm at 60 Hz, don't worry. 1050 Ti, maybe in a separate video. I gotta run now. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see ya next time. Bye guys. Hopefully in a few days, if anything improves, I'll tell ya in the pinned comment and maybe do another live stream, who knows. Bye guys, thanks for watching, gotta run. Everybody's going kung fu fighting.
It's
Yeah,
hot out
exactly.
here, huh, Nix?
Thank you guys, hope you enjoyed.